This is the Paltalk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online, a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show. We're going to talk about two issues. In the second half of the show, the economy dummy. Remember those words? It's the economy dummy. And in the first half of the show, we're going to talk about the president about to announce his Afghan strategy next week. Before we get to that, if any of you are from the New York area or have traveled to New York, you know that throughout Midtown Manhattan, there are these homeless people, or at least they appear to be homeless, who are set up at tables, and they have these plastic jugs. They're from an organization called the United Homeless Organization, where they're raising money for the homeless. And, you know, they're all wearing the same vests, and they wear a hat, and they've got an ID badge. They look very official. And they ask people to donate money for the homeless. And my good friend Alan Jacey has been saying to me for the longest time, these guys are scam artists. They're not really raising money for the homeless. Well, Alan, how do you know it? Well, I just know it. Well, now the State Attorney General here in New York, Andrew Cuomo, has filed a lawsuit against the founder and executive director of United Homeless Organization for allegedly co-opting a tax-exempt charitable corporate structure for their own benefit. I think one of them used it to pay for their cable TV or something like that, allegedly, according to the lawsuit filed by the State Attorney General. One of the allegations is that they actually charge these unfortunate individuals for the right to wear the vest and hold the plastic jug in their name, and then those people pocket whatever money they make. Sort of like a taxi cab driver who leases the vehicle for X number of dollars a day, and then if he makes the money back in fares, he pockets that. If he doesn't, then he's out the money. And it is alleged that the money doesn't ever really get to homeless people as they claim. Well, I, upon learning about this lawsuit, took a little trip to Penn Station, where you will always find one of these guys out in front, and I interviewed one of them. Boaz, could you please play the video?
Are you aware that the State Attorney General says that what you're doing is a scam?
No, sir, it's not me.
I'm sorry?
It's not me, sir.
Is it a scam what you're doing?
No, it's not. It's helping out the public.
Is this money really going to the homeless people?
Yes, it is.
Why would the State Attorney General say it isn't, sir?
I can't say it.
You can't say why?
I can't say nothing. I can't say it.
Well, you're standing here taking money. People want to be assured that the money's going to where it belongs.
I can't say nothing. I'm just doing my job, that's all. That's what he wants me to do. To help out and say it, that's it.
But the State Attorney General says the money is not going to the homeless.
Sure,
Mr. Cuomo says it's going to the leaders of this organization, and the homeless people don't get any of the money. Is that fair?
I don't know. I don't know, sir.
Yeah, he kept motioning across the street where there was another guy doing exactly what he was doing. Go talk to that guy. Don't talk to me, he said. Anyway, we tried to get a hold of the UHO, and they're not answering their phones. Surprise, surprise. But if they'd like to come on the show and refute the allegations in this lawsuit filed by State Attorney General Andrew Cuomo, you're more than welcome to do so. You know, it's really something we should be aware of, actually, at this time of the year, because people tend to be a little bit more charitable around the holidays. And you want to make sure that when you give out your money, it actually gets to the people for whom it was intended and is not being used to pay for cable television for the executive director of the organization. So we'll be following this story. We'll see whether the Attorney General prevails, but apparently they sent in undercover investigators and got people from this organization to acknowledge that that's what they were doing, and that's the basis for the lawsuit. So whether you're in New York City or anywhere else, please be generous this holiday season, but be cautious about where you give your money. By the way, we here at Paltalk gave our money to the food banks of New York City. You'll recall a couple months ago, we had the executive director of a food bank that services 2 counties in New Jersey live on this show, talking about how the need has increased and the donations have decreased because of the economy. And if you're in a position to help a food bank, that's really a great charity to give to, either with money so they can purchase the food, or with staples, canned goods that will not spoil, that they may be accepting from the general public. So think about your hungry neighbors this holiday season. But I would be a little bit cautious about giving to this organization, the fellow that I just interviewed, who I believe, if Cuomo is correct in his lawsuit, is very much a victim, as are the people who are actually dropping the money into the plastic jugs, because he's being taken advantage of as well by, allegedly, the people who run the organization. Well, President Obama is about to announce his Afghan strategy. We think it's going to be Tuesday. We think it's going to be in a primetime address to the nation. He is, according to a number of news accounts, going to take a solemn-esque approach. You know, King Solomon offering to cut the baby in half when both the mom and the pop claimed that the baby was theirs. General Stanley McChrystal has asked for more than 40,000 additional troops in Afghanistan. There are those who believe he should get the 40,000 and perhaps more. There are those who say that the president should say, let's stop this craziness in Afghanistan right now. The indicators are that he will probably give